Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another phenomenal episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always on the go. Catch him if you can. Said his name in Guyana. Now they love him in Japan. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a man who has not only graduated from Santino Bros or Santino Brothers in California, but he has also graduated with the Nightmare Factory Class 3. That's right. We done moved up now. No more class 1, no more class 2, at least for now. We up to 3 right now. And not only did he have a spectacular match at the Student Showcase 3 against JDX, he is now the East Bay Pro, Gold Rush Pro 2021 Young Lions competitor. Everybody, welcome to the show, the Independent Variable Ishmael Vaughn.
Thank you guys for having me
Woo!
on. I appreciate that.
So Ishmael, thank you very much for agreeing to be on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. I gotta ask, man, how's everything going for you, man?
Man, everything has been really busy. I've only been on the independent scene for about 3 months, but everything has been going spectacular so far. I've had the opportunity to wrestle almost every single weekend since the Nightmare Factory showcase, getting booked from Northern California, Southern California, and I'll be traveling to Las Vegas to wrestle for the first time tomorrow. So things have taken off rather quickly, a lot faster than I expected it to.
Awesome. That's cool, man. That's cool. That's cool that you're getting to, wrestle in NorCal and SoCal and Las Vegas, and hopefully you can end up going over to, Oregon and end up going to Texas, and then Midwest you got Chicago, and what's another place? I guess Minnesota if they have a wrestling, and then eventually make your way back to the East Coast. You go Georgia, the Carolinas, and hopefully you get up to good old New York. Hey, maybe you'll even wrestle in the same area that Rob is refereeing, because now he's actually about to referee his first match next month. So honestly, I definitely hope you definitely make it there. I saw that. I just got done watching the Showcase 3, and I gotta say, I was blown away by everything I saw there. I was like, wow. I like, and the part that got me was when you and JDX, you did that tope suicida on JDX, and y'all took out the whole guardrail. I was like, yo,
Yeah, we were wild.
I was like, that was crazy. Yeah, I was like, that reminded me of when Shaquille O'Neal once slam dunked on a basket in basketball, and he took down the whole net. I was like, oh man, but y'all did great work, man. I actually enjoyed that. I like how you came up with Hyena Hera and Rain the Stallion Rivers, and then you end up getting the win with they helped y'all get that win and whatnot. But yeah, man, that was great work that y'all did, you and JDX. I tell you, his third showcase, still not disappointed, still amazed by it. Whatever y'all are doing, it's definitely working, and y'all should definitely keep it up.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I'm gonna dial it back a bit because I know I got a couple questions to ask you. Rob has a couple questions. So, what was the event or the pay-per-view that made you become a fan of professional wrestling?
It would have to be the very first pay-per-view that I was actually able to watch as a kid. It would have been WrestleMania 23. I remember my friend Eric had his birthday party. He was a huge wrestling fan like me, and he invited a couple of friends over because his mom paid for the WrestleMania 23 pay-per-view. And we all came over and we were watching the matches, watching the whole show. And as the show was going on, we were just having fun. We were enjoying it. We didn't know what was going to happen. While the show was going on, we were wrestling on his bed. I think we broke his bed that day. His mom was pissed, but she let it go because it was his birthday. And then able to have the opportunity to see two matches in particular that stood out on the card for me that night were both championship matches. Undertaker versus Batista and John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. Those two matches stood out to me. Shawn Michaels and John Cena delivered way more than what I thought was going to happen. So that really just stood out for me. In the end of that whole pay-per-view, John Cena leaving, him and Shawn Michaels showing that like mutual respect, but hey, I still want that WWE championship from you. That's what like really sold it for me. And for me, it was special because that was the first pay-per-view that I was able to watch as a kid. Because growing up in a poor household, we didn't have cable, let alone being able to buy pay-per-views. So it was an experience for me, even though I wasn't there a lot.
Yeah, I remember that. That was. I don't think that. I think that may have been Detroit, but I remember they were comparing WrestleMania 23. That was 2007. So that was 20 years since WrestleMania 3, where they had the famous match where Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant, and I remember they were comparing comparing Kane body slamming. I think Kane body slammed the Great Khali to that actual match right there. But yeah, that was a pretty good those were pretty good matches. I think that was Rob. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe you yourself know Ishmael. I think that was the one where CM Punk. Oh no, that was 2005. I was thinking about the one when he came out as a mafia member and he started shooting not an actual gun, but like a prop gun, blanks, and he was shooting it up in the air. And yeah, I was thinking about that one. But yeah, so who are some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching growing up?
Watching growing up, okay, my favorite wrestler of all time is John Cena. Sometimes I get crap for that, sometimes I don't. But watching John Cena growing up really inspired me as a kid because he always had the whole hustle, loyalty, and respect thing going on. He was always a good guy. He would always overcome impossible odds. When you think John Cena is going to lose his WWE championship, somehow he's the first one to make the Great Khali tap out, or he's the first one to pin the Great Khali and pick him up over his shoulders and attitude adjustment him. So John Cena was one of my favorites growing up. Rey Mysterio was also a huge favorite of mine. His size and being seen as an underdog in the world of professional wrestling really drew me to him because you wouldn't expect Rey Mysterio to do the things that he can do and also become the World Heavyweight Championship when he won at WrestleMania 22. I was really rooting him on, and when he won, I was really happy for him.
Wow, that's yeah, Rey Mysterio was definitely he definitely didn't have he wasn't the tallest, but he definitely made it work for him. And even John Cena too, because John Cena, y'all always gotta respect that man's metal. Like he had people tell him all sorts of things. You suck, chanting Cena sucks, and even throwing his shirt back at him when he threw it into the crowd, and he was still able to overcome all of that and become one of the greatest, in my opinion, which I'm entitled to, in professional wrestling. So I gotta ask you, there was a recent. I haven't seen the trailer yet, Rob. I don't know if you did, but maybe you already saw it. But the Peacemaker is getting a spinoff, and it's starring obviously John Cena. He's reprising his role as a Peacemaker. So, have you seen that, and are you excited for it?
I am excited for it. I do have to admit, I have not been able to watch Suicide Squad yet. I made it like I want to say 40 minutes into it, and then I had to go for something like emergency. But I still need to watch the whole Suicide Squad movie. But I am excited to hear that John Cena is getting his own spinoff. I heard he did a really great job in his role during the Suicide Squad. So once I'm finally able to watch that movie completely, I'm very excited for the spinoff series.
Yeah, it's always great to see somebody like move on from wrestling and just find some success out of it because I'm not a wrestler. I know my role. I'm a fan, but I always say that it's a physical sport. It's a lot of physicality, as you yourself firsthand know. Rob, you know it as well, training to be a referee. But you can't do it forever. Eventually, your body gets old, and things that you could have done when you were 18, 19, 20, heck, even 21 years old, you can't do later on in life. So it's always good. I'm always glad to see people like find success out of that outside of that. And John Cena's one of them, and now you got Batista acting, and hopefully the Miz finally lives up to his. I'm hoping the Miz wins Dancing with the Stars, and maybe that leads to more things for him, and whatnot. But yeah. So um, now that you're now that you're a fan and you're watching the pay-per-views and you're cheering on your favorites and whatnot, tell us, how did the journey go from Ishmael Vaughn, the wrestling fan, to the independent variable Ishmael Vaughn that came out with some of the finest ladies, on that side of the country? Tell us, how'd that journey go for you, bro?
Yeah, so the journey for me becoming a fan to actually becoming Ishmael Vaughn, the independent variable, I would say started when I went to grad school at UC Berkeley. So after my undergrad career at UC Davis, I went to graduate school for journalism at UC Berkeley. And right before classes were getting ready to start for my first year, I hadn't watched wrestling in a long time because during undergrad, I was very busy with football and rugby. I just didn't have the time to keep up with it. So I decided, let's check on and let's see what's going on in the world of pro wrestling these days. I turned on the TV and it was SummerSlam 2017. Had the opportunity to watch that, and I just refound my love for professional wrestling. And I asked myself, how cool would it be to be able to do that for a living? That's what I want to do. It's all about, I love traveling. Obviously, you travel as a pro wrestler. I love acting. I love doing entertainment. I'm athletic. I love sports. Literally, pro wrestling entailed every single one of the aspects that I love about it. So after that, I decided to start training to become a pro wrestler. I got lucky and I was actually able to be invited to a WWE tryout in February 2018, which I attended. It was a 3-day tryout. It was really fun. We did promos the first day, a lot of in-ring stuff. Everything was new to me because I had no prior wrestling training before partaking in this tryout. And I had the opportunity to be coached for a couple of days by like William Regal and a lot of other big people there. After the tryout, I didn't make the cut, obviously, but that didn't discourage me. They actually encouraged me to continue my training. They were the ones that recommended Santino Bros Wrestling Academy to me in Los Angeles. So during that time period, I was actually still in graduate school in NorCal. So I couldn't go straight to Santino Bros. But my plan right after graduation was to move down to LA and start training at Santino Bros, which is what I did. I moved down to LA the day after my graduation and started training, I want to say maybe a month later at Santino Bros Wrestling Academy. And I was there for 9 months. And then obviously, as we know, the COVID pandemic hit. It shut down a lot of things in California, including Santino Bros. I was out of wrestling for about a year, and then I had the opportunity to go to the Nightmare Factory. The Nightmare Factory, I feel, is where Ishmael Vaughn, the character, was really born. QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes did a really good job of helping us bring out our character sides, helping us bring out our personalities inside that ring. And I figured out that I just wanted to go with a character that was more appealish, classy, bougie, but also played off the Dragon Ball Z DBZ gimmick. If you've ever seen my gear, the top of it is a replica of the Saiyan armor. So with my own little spin on it. So I say Ishmael Vaughn was really born at the Nightmare Factory, but the whole journey for that started, I want to say, back in grad school when I realized this is what I wanted to do for full time.
Awesome, that's cool. So, like I said, Santino Bros, they're a very reputable training school, wrestling training school. Like Brian Kendrick has came from there. Sonya Deville trained there. I believe, and don't quote me on this, y'all. But if I am wrong, please correct me. Ronda Rousey, she trained there as well.
That's
And of course, now you have the Nightmare Factory, where, man, so many people have trained. I mean, you have Julia Hart that trained there, who's now on AEW, and you've had just so many people that have actually gone there, and they've spawned so many great people like that. I know for a fact are going to be the future, like TSF from Class One, and then you have the bodyguard Austin Green from Class Two, who was recently on AEW Dark as well. But I digress. What I'm getting at is, was there a difference in training between Santino Brothers and Nightmare Factory, in your opinion?
Yeah, I did notice a difference. I would say Santino Bros, they really teach you how to wrestle. When you go to Santino Bros, you're going to learn how to wrestle. You're going to learn how to wrestle on the fly. You're just going to become a really good wrestler. But when I went to Nightmare Factory, at first, that's all I was just like a pretty good wrestler, like a guy who knew what he was doing in the ring for the most part. Still green, obviously. I don't know everything, but for someone at my level, Santino Bros, they really taught us how to wrestle in the ring. But my character didn't come to life there. I feel like that was the difference at the Nightmare Factory. I had more opportunity to work on my character. At the Nightmare Factory, we had mandatory like promo days. I want to say we had like 3 or 4 promo days within the 12-week period that we were there, where we would just go in front of Cody, QT, and the rest of the coaches, and we would cut promos. They allowed you to do that in character or out of character if you wanted to. I wanted to work on my character, so I always cut them in character. And then my character really came to life when we were doing practice matches in the rings. I would just try new things out that like maybe something Ishmael Vaughn would do and kind of like what I would do as a real life person. Like every time I hit a big move, sometimes you'll see me do clapping push-ups in the ring, just being cocky, being arrogant. Like, oh, he's doing clapping push-ups in the ring, but he's allowing his opponent time to recover when he could have pinned him right there. So I have more time to work on character stuff at the Nightmare Factory and Santino Bros. I really just learned how to wrestle.
Wow, that's awesome. And I gotta say, I like how you did that. You got like you're kind of you have like a bougie character, but it's like Dragon Ball Z. So I'm kind of like imagining like some Dragon Ball, I guess anti-hero, not villain, not hero, saying, "Oh, I only fight with the best, and when I fight with the best, I only give them like I only use the best fireballs. I don't use that puny stuff, beginner stuff that you guys do." I'm not a Dragon Ball Z. I'm not familiar with it too much. So everybody, please don't crucify me. Anime fanatics, please don't crucify me. I know this is cancel culture and whatnot. And by the way, another thing for those of y'all that are wondering, my question about Santino Brothers and Nightmare Factory, I'm not trying to make it seem like either one is bad or either one is better than the other one. So because I'm not trying to be Dave Meltzer. So I'm just curious about that for those of y'all watching. So, but both are great in my opinion. I got much respect to both of them. Um, Heck, I always said if I was a professional wrestler, I'd want to train at two schools. They're no longer. I don't know if they're. I know one of them is no longer around. It was the Heart Dungeon, and then there was the Samoans. Because I'll get the crazy technical background from Stu Hart, even though he's long passed away, and I'll get the brutality from the Anawai Fatu family. And those combined, I'm not. If I was a wrestler, I wouldn't be a high flyer. I would be like, I'd be ground. Like I'm good. Like I leave that for the young boys. I'm a ground guy, so I'm too old to be getting up on there and doing moonsaults and stuff. I mean, I'm almost 40, so yeah, I'll leave that to the young boys like Rob and so on. But yeah, but yeah. So you also have a tag team with another impressive guy, and I gotta say, y'all are like team friendship goals because y'all went to the showcase 3 and both of y'all pulled out a win.
Yeah.
And y'all were like y'all were like y'all gonna put some respect on our names. Your tag team partner Kid Bandit, and you also have a young lady in your midst aside from Hyena Hera and Rain Rivers. You also have a young lady on the West Coast by the name of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lola the Electric Bunny.
Yes.
Yes. How did that gathering come to be?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Kid Bandit and I and Yola, we all met at Santino Bros. We started together from day one. So that's where we met. It's crazy to think that we're all still together because I think that class started with maybe 28 to 30 people the very first day. And it trickled down to about 3 or 4 people towards the closing months of our class. So we all stuck together and we decided to form the group, The Highlight, because we were all part of we call it June Crew. That's when we started our training. We were all part of the June Crew class and we all came up together. Now, Baden and I had the opportunity to both travel at the Nightmare Factory. So we've essentially had the exact same training. We trained at Santino Bros together. We never missed class. We trained at the Nightmare Factory together. We never had class. And we had a friend. His name is the God King. That's his worker name. he always used to cut these promos on top of Hollywood Hill, where he would call himself the highlight of people's nightlife. So we always like to make fun of him for that because they were like the corniest promos ever. But we decided to actually steal something from him because we thought it was really good with his permission. And we decided to come up with the name The Highlight, because the highlight is all about creating highlight moments in our matches. That's basically what the highlight lives for. It's like we're the sports center of professional wrestling. We want to show you cool things all the time and bring the fans highlights.
Awesome. I like that. And the what's his name again? He said I'm sorry, I don't want to
The
mess his
God
name up.
King 10.
Yeah, that was that's pretty cool of him to let him like actually let y'all take part of that from him as well. Hopefully I could maybe you never know, in the future y'all can end up coming back as a stable and everything comes full circle, and it's always cool to see stuff like that. But yeah, I saw y'all's pictures together and I was like, yo, I like this dynamic. You got Kid Bannon, you got Lola with you. So I'm like, wow, I mean, this is a pretty good. I like how this looks. I definitely see great things for y'all too, as well. So, looking at this at the Student Showcase 3. Now, what was you were facing off against JDX, a well-known person in that class as well too. What was your mindset going into the one-on-one match you had with him? Were there like butterflies in your stomach, or were you like confident to the max? Like, I did Santino Bros, I did Nightmare Factory, I got this, or was it like a combination of both?
I would say it was a combination of both. My match versus JDX was my debut match, so it was my first match ever. Going into your first match ever, you're obviously going to have butterflies, and it's on a pretty big stage. It's on a Nightmare Factory showcase, where the showcase is at least going to get 150,000 views. So at least 150,000 people are going to see you wrestle, and of course, everyone's going to have something to say about your match, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. So for me, I had to really get in the mindset of, hey, you trained at Santino Bros for 9 months. You trained here for 3 months. You know how to wrestle. You know what you're doing. Go out there and do what you do best. But of course, you still have butterflies throughout the whole time. But once it was over, I felt such a huge sense of accomplishment. I came a long ways just to make my pro wrestling debut. Starting from grad school, just from training, the WWE tryout that I partook in, 9 months at Santino Bros, a year hiatus due to COVID, and finally 3 months at the factory. And then I finally made my pro wrestling debut. It was a huge sense of accomplishment after the match was over. But of course, going into it, I had those butterflies, but I felt like the butterflies helped me because they helped me go out there and do what I know I can do. And JDX and I put on a really good match. And credit to him, he's experienced, more veteran than I am. So he really helped lead that match, but we both did a great job.
Yeah, I had a feeling because like every class they had like one, like I noticed every Nightmare Factory class they always had one that was like people talked about, and I heard people were talking when I first heard about that I saw the picture of all y'all together. The people that they were talking about were JDX, and I heard some people talking about was it Sweet Poppy? I forgot what his last name was, but no. There was one guy. Oh, I'm getting it mixed up. It was the guy that came out and gave the rose, and then I'm gonna get his name afterwards. I don't want to say, but you know who I'm talking about. He came out with all the ladies, gave a rose to Brooke Havoc, and then you had the guy that came out with the candies. People were talking about him. That's what I saw on Instagram, and then but the main guy they're talking about was JDX. So I was like, who? This guy must be a really big standout. But I didn't even know he was that experienced. So I was like, wow, okay. That's cool. And they were also talking about Kid Bandit, like, but that was because of his hair. So I'm like, yeah, y'all might not want to tease that guy because that guy would probably run rings around some of y'all in the ring. So you might want to leave him alone. Shout out to Kid Bandit. We hope to get you on here soon, bro. But yeah, that was yeah, that was a pretty good match. I definitely enjoyed that as well. So with that being so now now that, all that's said and done with the showcase 3, what is next um in Las Vegas? You say you're going to Vegas soon, right?
Yes, tomorrow morning.
Awesome. So who's the opponent that's gonna, like, learn to put some respect on your name?
We're really looking forward to wrestling the Sin City Scumbags. That's going to be really fun. So we're in a triple threat tag match with them, and I've seen some of their work from Versus Pro Wrestling in Las Vegas, and I'm pretty looking forward to working with them and seeing what we can do in the ring. I've never participated in a triple threat tag match before, so this will be fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, that's I'm familiar with those. I mean, I don't know them, like know them, but I've heard of them. They're the guys that come out with skateboards and they wear checkered pants, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's it. You gotta love the West Coast, man. Hey, real talk. I'm not saying this because you're in front of me and you could kick my butt in like 10 seconds, but I gotta say, I've been to the West Coast. Y'all stand out. Like when y'all talk about, like when y'all say y'all gonna be this person, y'all dress to the nines. Like this guy, I don't know if you ever heard. Well, the owner of Versus Pro is a guy named the Beast. You think, okay, he's probably some guy that's gonna come. He's kind of big. Homeboy comes out with a mask with chains hanging from it, and what looks like some body armor, and he has all like marks all over his skin. I'm like, yo, like I would run far away. They would have to. I would lose that match by 10 count. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this, yo. I'm good.
Yeah, everyone goes into their characters here. Very into it.
Yeah. So, I just got 2 more questions before I turn it over to Rob. And my second to last question is, okay, you and Kid Bandit, you guys got the Sin City Scumbags tomorrow. Best of luck in that. I know y'all gonna blow the house, gonna knock the house down. You're gonna knock it down, whichever one. The house ain't gonna be standing anymore. But I gotta ask you, who are the top 5 tag teams that you and Kid Bandit to face in the near future? They could be from anywhere. WWE, AEW, Impact, the Indies, doesn't matter.
Okay. So we faced 2 tag teams that I would definitely want to have matches with again because they were just that much fun. I would say Money, Power, and Respect from East Bay Pro Wrestling. We had a really fun time wrestling them at Destination 6 in Barstow, California. That's where Bandit and I became the D6 tag team champions, and they were our first tag team match. And it was really fun to work with them. We also had the opportunity to work with another tag team. We'll probably be seeing them tomorrow, but we won't be working them tomorrow. They're called the Pack. They're from Versus Pro as well. They're literally the mirror versions of Bandit and I. They have a giant big black guy on their team and a really small dude on their team too. So they're like mirror versions of us. So it was really fun to wrestle them because during that match, we could do so many things with that dynamic that we just had a fun time out there. So I would love to work with them too. Let's see. Third tag team, it would be really fun to wrestle the Usos because they just have that energy, and every single time they bring it in the ring, super kick parties for everybody. Obviously, I don't want to take their super kick, but it would be fun to wrestle them. And let's see. I would say let's pick one from AEW. Obviously, probably the Young Bucks, another super kick team, but it'd be fun to wrestle them too and just to be able to work with them. And then I would say for the last tag team, let's see. This is an older tag team. It was probably one of my favorite tag teams to watch growing up, especially because of the run they had with their titles. But Paul London and Brian Kendrick, if they were still a tag team, would really love to wrestle them. I loved their tag team run was my favorite, hands down. Because every time you would think this is when they're going to lose the titles, somehow they pull it out the bag. I was very sad when they lost to Deuce and Domino on SmackDown.
Don't even get me started with that. I did not like when that happened. I was like Deuce and Domino. Like, no offense. I mean, don't get me wrong. Cliff Compton and Sim Snooker are great athletes, but I hated that gimmick. I was like, these guys, I'm like, they're not. And then, yeah, but I gotta say, London and Kendrick, one of my favorites. And the reason why they were like, I guess you could say they're like my third or fourth favorite tag team because they reminded me so much of my first ever favorite tag team, the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Mari Jannetty. And it's funny because Shawn Michaels trained both of them, London and Kendrick. So I had the opportunity. Have you ever gotten to meet any of them?
I met Brian Kendrick because he runs Santino Bros. But I haven't had the opportunity to meet Paul London.
Yeah, I got to talk to Brian Kendrick on a podcast way back when, and it was just a quick question. And London, I actually got to meet Paul London here in New York, and that was when I was a huge London and Kendrick fan. Like I even bought the only shirt that they had in WB, and I went to an event that he was at. This was like after he left WB, and before I even got to him, he was like, "Hey, look, a fan," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, you guys are my favorites, man. I mean, hey, you know, I've been a huge fan of y'all since when? Since I first saw y'all." And then he was like, "You mind if I sign your shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you from signing your own shirt. Go ahead." Yeah, but that was a great moment. Definitely a great tag team as well. So my last question is, when you're in the gym, doing your workouts, or when you're getting ready for a match, getting ready to and you're looking for that motivation that takes you to 100%, where you're the best that you can be. What songs do you like to listen to get you there?
All right. That is a very interesting question. What songs do I like to take? Okay, so one would be 300 Violin Orchestra. Very classic one. I always listen to that, even when I was in college playing sports, getting ready for a football game, rugby game, now wrestling matches. 300 Violin Orchestra is one. Kashmir, I would say, is the second one. Let's see. Outside of that, 300 Violin Orchestra, Kashmir. I would also like to say I listen to some WWE soundtracks too while I'm working out. For example, John Cena's theme song will play. I'll listen to that too. And then another one I like to play is AJ's song. I think AJ has one of the dopest theme songs in WWE. It's a song I wouldn't expect him to have, but it's fun. I like listening to his song. And then one I would say that is not WWE related would either be Radioactive or Sail by AWOL Nation.
Oh, eight, yeah, that's a sleeper hit. Eight, yeah. At one point, I had that on my workout list. AWOL Nation. That was radioactive. Yeah, I remember having that as well. Hey, ain't nothing wrong working out to. Hey, I thought I was the only one that enjoyed working out to wrestling themes. I used to work out to Real American by Hulk Hogan, and I also had one by, I don't know if you're familiar with this team, Roppongi 3K in New Japan, but they had a theme song that I used to work out to, and then of course this one that's another banger, the Gorillas of Destiny's theme song that they had.
Yeah.
I think I call it "Ain't Nobody." I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I know the song you're talking. I just don't know the name.
Yeah, but that's another song that I enjoy, like doing cardio to and whatnot. It really gets me motivated. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has some questions for you. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, man? How's everything going out your way?
Everything's going great. Just staying busy. Staying busy, always busy.
That's right. It looks like it's a beautiful day out your way, man. I see the sun shining and all that stuff, man. Yeah, I'm jealous. It's all like raining here and about to, start thundering and all that. I'm like, oh man, come on.
Yeah, here in LA, we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I heard being a meteorologist out that way, San Diego, it's like the easiest job in the world. Every day you just get up, you're like 75 and sunny. All right, back to you.
Yeah.
Oh man, it makes me jealous. Now, when you're saying something you were saying earlier, man, I was like, oh man, now I'm intimidated, man. You got with the UC Berkeley for journalism. You're saying that, I'm like, oh man, here I am. I'm on a podcast. I can barely speak English. I barely got out of elementary school. I say words like "which you did ya," and "yont to," and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to embarrass myself from this journalism major, man. It's like, oh man, this is crazy. But no, I'm just joking with you. But
No, you're
yeah, it's all good, man. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I did want to say you were talking about the weather and stuff, man. What was that like weather change? Like, what was the shock to your system, man? Going from the West Coast from Cali over here to Georgia and stuff. Over there in Georgia, swampland, all humidity, and just there's little like swamp monsters out there and stuff, man. Like, what was that shock like, man? Were you like, oh man, come on?
I expected it going over there, but to the degree we got it, I didn't see that coming. I just remember, and I took a video of it. There was one day, Bandit and I, we were staying in our Airbnb, and I want to say Stone Mountain, Georgia, and it was really nice. It was really sunny, just how it is out here right now. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just started pouring rain. It started thundering. It started hailing. Car alarms were going off. It was like ridiculous. We had to go outside and take a video because we're from California. We don't see anything like that ever. So I was just another shock at how quick the weather can change in Georgia. It went from sunny to just like, I don't know what's going on right now. And then, yeah, it did flood a lot over there driving. We drove like a Toyota Camry, I want to say. Sometimes I was like, I don't know if we should be driving through this right now. And I'm not sure if this Camry is going to make it through like Lake Georgia right now, trying to get to the Nightmare Factory for class. And then the humidity, man, that made it tough because the facility we trained in at the Nightmare Factory, it was already kind of hot in there to begin with. So Georgia's humidity weather did not help at all. Well, I'll teach you this. It definitely helped open up our lungs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we were not used to that. We got used to it after, I want to say, week 4. We got used to it, but man, it sucked the first couple of weeks. Trying to catch your breath, just you're already like dripping after doing like warm-ups, and we haven't even actually started practice yet. But we got used to it. Wow.
Oh yeah. See, in Delaware, we got that same problem, man. I'll walk outside, I'm like, yeah, and it's like hits me in the face. I'm like, it makes me start speaking different languages and all, and I don't even know any other languages. I just know English. I'm like, I mean, that humidity is just bad. Oh, it's awful. So, man, I was watching your match, man, and man, I want to say your spear is something, man. That's one of my favorite moves, man. A wrestler does, and the way you do that spear, man, you're tearing people in half, man. Is that something everybody's like, oh man, are they fearing that spear, man? Where'd you get that idea from, man? Because I almost want to call it a gore. It's almost kind of like kind of like that, man. So is that kind of where you got it from, or whatever?
Yeah, so I decided to make the spear one of my finishing moves because I played football in high school, and I played football in college, and I played rugby in college. And one of the reputations I had playing football, and especially in rugby, was, man, you do not want to get hit by Ish. Like he will lay it in. And honestly, I do this. I hit people the same way with my spear in wrestling that I do on the rugby or football field. As long as you know how to take it properly, you'll live, but you're gonna feel it. But that's just that's how I do my spears. I just like to lay it in. But yeah, I got it from just being me. I'm a football player, I'm a rugby player, and my spear just translated over into the world of pro wrestling.
That's right. And not only do you have a nasty spear, man, you're like a pretty big dude, and you're over there doing hurricanranas. You're on the top rope flipping and stuff, man. Now, I get in training and stuff, and like, yeah, I don't know if I'm about standing up on the top rope and stuff, man. I'll sit on that second rope, like, yeah, I'll do a Bret Hart L, but that I can do that, man. But woo, man, yeah, what's it like, man? Is it easy for you going up there doing that, standing there doing the flips like that? Because woo, I don't know if I can do that, man. Plus I'm 39 years old, man. So
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, going up to the top rope is intimidating, especially for a guy my size, because I'm big. So like when I get on the top rope, I'm a lot higher than versus Kid Bandit when he gets on the top rope.
Yeah,
I can see a lot higher, so it's a little bit more intimidating. I would say I started doing like ranas and stuff off the top rope because of him. I'm like, well, if Bandit's doing it, I guess I got to do something just to keep up a little bit. Obviously, people don't expect me to do what Bandit does, but I'm like, I feel like just from hanging out with Bandit all the time, some of the stuff that he does has rubbed off on me. In a million years, if you ask me would I be doing a Rana in a pro wrestling ring, I'd probably tell you no. I'm not Rana. I'm too big to do Ranas. But I
That's
did a
right.
Rana in a wrestling match, and then in my debut match, I did like a whisper in the wind off the top rope. I missed it, but I did it. If you told me I was going to be doing a whisper in the wind in my debut match, I would have been like, "You're tripping. I'm not doing no whisper in the wind. Why do I need to do a whisper in the wind?" But yeah, it can be intimidating going up there. But I find the best way to do it is just by doing it. Just do it. The more you think about it, the more you're going to hesitate. You're probably going to hurt yourself and hurt your opponent. But I practiced that move enough to where I was comfortable going up there and just doing it. I would never do something in the ring that I'm not comfortable doing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So man, yeah, like you're talking about Kid Bandit, man. You guys are actually tag team champions and stuff, man. Are you gonna try and add any more gold, man? Do y'all after this weekend, next weekend, man? Y'all gonna try to add some more gold to y'all's collection?
Yeah, we want to, when we work Money, Power, and Respect again, another tag team I brought up, they're the East Bay Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions right now. Would love to take their titles off their hand. I'm sure they would love to do the same to us because we beat them in the tournament to win our titles. So that would be like one title I would love to add to my collection. I can't wait to face them again.
That's right. I also got to see yeah, y'all's promo, man. Y'all were man, y'all had me cracking up, man. Where you were doing the Booker T. He was like, oh, whoa, man, what is this? All like that, man. Where'd y'all get that idea from, man? Man, was that were y'all like just on the spot? You're like, yeah, let's just go, let's just roll and do it.
Yeah, so when Bandit and I cut promos, they're always improv. We know each other well enough, and our humors and personality mix well enough to where we don't really need to sit there and like think about it or plan it out. We just start the camera, and one of us starts talking, and we just feed off each other's energy. I remember that Booker T promo because that was just one of the funniest things in the world, especially his reaction after he flipped up and said the N-word. I was like, oh, let's do this. And I knew Bandit would get it, and I knew he would play off it. And I knew he would stop me before I did it. So I was like, let's see if he stops me. He did. And we just kept rolling with it. All of our promos are improv, and we know each other, so we just play off each other's energy.
That's right. Yeah, because I was watching that, man. I'm like, yeah, good. I was like, man, y'all had to have fun in promo class at the Nightmare Factory, man. Like, yeah, I bet that was probably one of y'all's favorite days. Like, yeah, today's promo day. Was that probably one of your favorite days to go out there? Be like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, promo days at the Nightmare Factory were always super fun because that's the opportunity you had to show your character, show who you are in the ring, outside of the ring, and show your personality come to life. And then you got really good critiques back from Cody. You got good critiques back from QT. The rest of the coaches in the room, they were really laughing at Bandit and I's promo. So they thought it was funny.
That's right. Now, did y'all get to cut any promos on your coaches? Did you ever get to cut any promos on Cody and QT Marshall or any of them? Coach Glacier.
That was the one rule we had, or we had a couple of rules, but that was like the main one for promos is you can't cut promos on any of the coaches and you can't shoot.
Okay.
So that was the one rule they gave us for promo class.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I'm thinking, because like when my class, like me and another guy training for repping, we do all the promo stuff and all that, and yeah, our trainer's right there, so it's just three of us. So it was like, yeah, we're just right there. Might as well, like. Oh man. So I also wanted to say, man, congratulations. You were number 450 on the BWI 500. Yeah, what was your reaction, finding out of that, man? Like, yeah, did you like, wow, 450, was it awesome, man? And can we expect maybe, next year, moving up, a couple hundred, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely. When it was funny, I was at work when that came out, and my phone just kept going off. I just kept getting like multiple notifications, so I decided to check it. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, dang, I'm 450 on this chart. It was a really shock to me because I think at that point in my wrestling journey, I was only maybe a month in to my pro wrestling. I think I had only maybe 5 matches at that point. So I was like, wow, number 450. I was like, I didn't even know people knew who I was. So it was cool just to see that. I'm like, wow, well, people are obviously watching and people are paying attention. For as new as I am into the world of pro wrestling, it was a huge honor to even be on that, let alone 450. So I was shocked. I was happy and definitely want to climb the ranks for next year. Most definitely.
Oh yeah, I definitely see you climbing those ranks, man. Yeah, especially after watching that Nightmare Factory match stuff, man. Just those spears, man, the boots and stuff, man. Woo! Oh man, yeah, you're gonna be up there, man. You're gonna be tearing it up, man. Whew. So like, where's the farthest? I also wanted to ask, man. You're also in the Young Lions Cup. When did you find out about that, man? And and not only that, there's like how many of y'all from the Nightmare Factories in there? It's like six, seven of
Six.
y'all, something like there. Yeah.
Yes.
Woo, yeah. So, man, what can we expect, man? Is it going to be an all Nightmare Factory final, semifinal, man? Is it Nightmare Factory taking that Young Lions Cup home?
Most definitely. That's what we're going. That's what we're born to do. That's what we want to do. There's 6 of us out of 16 people in this tournament. So if I remember to stat correctly, that gives us like a 37.5% chance to win the whole thing as a school. So we're looking forward to that. The goal is one of us, as long as one of us wins, we all win. So hopefully if all 6 of us are in the finals, we already won no matter who wins that trophy. Low key, I want to take the trophy home, but at least someone takes it home. I guess that's all that matters. But yeah, I found out about it actually when I was in Utah. I was in Utah last weekend because Bandit and I had a match with Devotion Championship Wrestling last weekend. So we found out both that we were announced for it then, and it was really exciting. Just to see that I was in it, he was in it, Brooke Havoc was in it, Trip Jordy was in it, a lot of people from the factory were in it. I was like, we're definitely representing, and one of us is going to have to take this home.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping one of y'all take that Young Lions Cup, man. Yeah, I'm pulling for somebody in Nightmare Factory. You know what I mean? Especially man. Y'all got those cool ass jackets right there with that little logo right there, man. You got to win that, hold that thing up, man. Woo, man, that thing is nice. So y'all have you have traveled pretty much all over the country wrestling and stuff, man. Is there anywhere like when this travel restrictions get lifted and stuff, man? Any countries you would love to go wrestle, perform in front of, maybe like Australia, Japan, England, stuff like that?
Yeah, most definitely. I would say the UK is definitely on the top of my list. I've been to Europe before because I actually had a 3-month internship in college in Europe.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm pretty familiar with Europe in general. So I would love to go back there. When I was there for work and they're traveling and visiting, but having the opportunity to go back and actually wrestle would be a different experience. And then in the Nightmare Factory, we had someone from our class who currently, he lives in Canada and he wrestles out there right now. So I would love to work him in Canada. That's definitely one of the places I'm trying to get to. Once travel restrictions.
Is that the assassin AK-47?
Not AK-47. The real Canadian destroyer. He had the first match against Parker Lee.
I saw that, and yeah, that was a great match. Yeah, that was a great match. I just couldn't believe that Parker beat him with a Canadian destroyer. I was like,
and he's
wow, that's that's something. Well, my bad, Rob. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, you're good. So, man, I gotta ask, man. It's October, man. Spooky season's up, man. Are you a Halloween type person? Are you into the scary movies and all that stuff?
Most definitely. It's funny you bring that up. Literally, not last night, but the night before, I was at Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Night. That was very fun. Went with my family, had a blast. And then right before this podcast began, I was watching Halloween Kills. That just came out like a day or two ago.
Yeah, did you finish watching it? Because I watched it yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I finished watching it maybe 30 minutes before we got on.
Yeah, I won't give any spoilers and all, but man, that movie, man, it was brutal. It was violent, man. Woo! I go into movies, because I go into those type of movies like that's what I expect, and I was like, okay, yeah, they delivered on that one.
They did. I enjoyed watching it. I saw like the previous one from 2018, so it literally played right after that movie.
Yeah, the ending kind of got me. I was like, oh, okay, because I'm now wanting to see where they go from there. This next one, man. I'm like, all right, because I want to see this.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check it out soon. I did Halloween, and I know this sounds nonsensical, but I did 1, 2, and unfortunately 3. By the way, people, stay away from Halloween 3. It's not worth. If you want to do it, watch it out of curiosity. But Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. But I saw Halloween 1, 2, the Return of Michael Myers, and I think the Halloween 5, which is I think the Curse of Michael Myers, or no, Michael Myers Revenge, and then the 6th one, which is Halloween the Curse of Michael Myers. So I didn't know there were three timelines. I was like, I thought it was all one thing, and then there were a reboot here, but there's actually three timelines. So next up is the one with Josh Hartnett, which was circa 1998, and then the one with Busta Rhymes, which was after that, and then I'll go down. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But yeah, I'm gonna hit them all up.
That's right. I kind of want to see LL Cool J make a cameo appearance in the next one, man. That would be awesome, man. Because he did survive in the H2O one, man. That would be pretty cool. So man, who's your favorite slasher, man? Do you have one? Is it Michael, Freddy, Jason, Chucky?
Oh, Chucky. Well, I would actually have to say Scream is my
Ooh,
favorite
okay.
slasher. Ghostface.
Yeah.
I would have to say that.
Yeah, they got the. I haven't seen the new trailer, but I heard they got a new one coming out next year or whatever, sometime. I don't know. Have you seen the trailer yet? Does it look good?
I have not seen the trailer yet, but I am looking forward to this fifth installment. I didn't think there was going to be a fifth installment. I thought it was going to end with the fourth. So I'm excited to see they're bringing it back.
Yeah, because the fourth one, it ends, and you're like, all right, yeah. I don't see how they could, but I guess that's how it always was, man. I didn't think they'd make a sequel after the first one, because I went to the theaters and seen that one, the first one. And I was like, all right, they made a sequel, all right, yeah, they're all pretty good.
Yeah, they're all pretty good, and it's funny with Scream because it's always someone you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's always someone they know. So curious to see how they write this one.
Yeah. Now, what I do miss, I miss the Wayans brothers making scary movies, man. Because man, I always love watching that. And then because I watched Scary Movie 1 and 2. I usually stop after that one. Sometimes I watch 3, but yeah, I gotta watch 1 and 2 because oh man, I missed that. Yeah, I gotta throw in the comedy in there.
Scary Movie 3. I'll never forget. I know it wasn't the funniest one, but there was one where the janitor, he's black. He goes up to the screen, and Anna Faris and one guy are fighting over the prompter, and the janitor goes up and he's like, "I've been sweeping up dust at this Giggins for almost 12 years. I've been hitting it with his woman for 10. That girl loves some chocolate. You get what I'm saying, brother? Sharp the president, y'all."
That I remember, yeah.
Yeah, that one was crazy. I think that's the one where the aliens, they're like, they're peeing at their finger, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then had the one finger in Charlie Sheen's mouth. He's like, what the world? Oh man. Oh man. So man, I do gotta ask. Speaking of that, are there any new movies and TV shows you're watching? 'Cause I always get stuck, kind of, watching the same stuff over and over again, man. Just I guess comfort shows, man. But is there anything new you're into right now?
Besides the new Chucky series that started, which is perfect because it's Halloween season.
Mm-hmm.
I started the Chucky series last night with episode 1. It's pretty good. No spoilers. I'm not gonna give any spoilers for that, but it was pretty good. Besides that, TV shows that I am currently watching right now. I was watching, obviously, I feel like the whole world was watching this one with Squid Games was really good. If you haven't seen Squid Games on Netflix, I recommend it. It's a really good one. It's been number 1 on Netflix for like over a month now at this point. Obviously, it's number 1 for a reason. So I would check out Squid Games. Besides that one, I'm watching The 7 Deadly Sins, which is an anime on Netflix. I'm in the season 5 or part 5 right now of it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I haven't watched any anime in like a couple months, man. I've been like watching a bunch of other stuff, but I need to get back in my anime. You know what I mean? I love watching some anime. You know what I mean? Dragon Ball Z, because I literally had that question on there, man, about your suit. I was like, man, is that Dragon Ball Z inspired? You know what I mean? And then you answered it earlier. I was like, okay. Now I'm not an expert in it, but I've watched some of it, man. My brother though, he's watched everything. You know what I mean? He's watched all a million episodes or whatever, man. He's like, yeah, he knows everything. Now I do gotta ask: is Goku the worst father ever in the history of mankind, or TV or anything, man?
Honestly, he's up there. If you really take the time to think about Goku's parenting skills, they're like terrible. He leaves his son with Piccolo through half of Dragon Ball Z. He makes his son fight Cell, throws Cell a sensu beam to beat up his son even more. If you really think about his parenting tactics, even though he's not doing it on purpose, he's a pretty bad father. I would say so.
Oh yeah,
pretty bad.
yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah. Hey, hopefully with your suit one day, man, we'll get to see, man. You gotta turn Super Saiyan one day, man. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, man, I do want to say, I do want to ask, since you've been traveling, wrestling, all up and down the country, man, you have any funny road stories, that's happened to you? Maybe, somebody forgot their gear or something, because I mean, at the showcase, I did see a Nasty Leroy sighting, you know what I mean? So anytime Nasty Leroy's somewhere, man, something crazy happening, you know what I mean? Shout out Nasty Leroy.
Yeah, I do. I do have one funny story that comes to my mind. I would have to think, but I know one that comes to my mind immediately was when I went back home to NorCal to wrestle at East Bay. I think this was my first time wrestling at East Bay Pro Wrestling on their show. And there was this guy there. I think my match was number 2 or 3 on the card. And match number 2 was going on, and there was a guy in the bathroom. And I had to use the bathroom really bad. And I was like, I cannot wrestle until I use the restroom because my gear is white. So the last thing I want to do is poop myself in my wrestling match. Everyone's going to be able to see it because my gear is white. So I was like, I got to use the bathroom. He took forever to come out. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to use the bathroom, man. I was like, I think I'm screwed. And then halfway through the second match, at least I thought it was halfway through their match, he finally comes out the bathroom. And I look at the TV screen watching the match on there, and I look at the bathroom, and I'm like, screw it. You're coming out second anyways. You got time. So I run in there, and I proceed to use the bathroom, and all I hear is 1, 2, 3. And I start to freak out a little bit, but I'm like, it's cool. You're coming out second. The other guy has to make his entrance first. So you got a little bit of time. And then maybe I hear, and the next contest is scheduled for 1 fall, and all of a sudden my music hits. And I'm literally in the middle of using the bathroom, and I just hear my music hit. I literally just have to pinch it off, wipe super quick, wash my hands, and I just ran through the curtain. I'm pretty sure my belt wasn't even on properly. I just had to run out. But that was a funny story because if you just think about the irony of that, I'm just like, of course. Because they told me you're coming out second. So I was like, you got some time. And then my music hit first. So I guess that shows to tell you anything in the world of pro wrestling can change on a dime. Always be ready.
That's right. Yeah, always be ready, man. Hey, things like that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as soon as I heard my music go off, I was just like, oh, you've got to be kidding.
Oh man, yeah, man. If it was that bad, I'm like, man, are we out in the country, man? Can I die behind a dumpster or something? Man? Oh man. Somebody come out there and
I
clean
make
it.
sure that never happened again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, show day, man. I know when I do that stuff, do a setup ring and all that. I usually don't eat anything that day, like toast, something light. It's always something like toast, something, nothing greasy or nothing, just in case. You know what I mean? I don't want to be out there like, hold on. But yeah, man, I do want to say, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on, chatting with us. I wish you nothing but the positive things happen to you in your career. I hope you, tear it up tonight, man. You go out there, dominate inside that ring, and then tomorrow you go out to Vegas and y'all dispense justice with those other teams. You know what I mean? Just yeah, y'all just keep the winning ways, collect gold all the way around the country, and you know what I mean, just. And then also hope you win that Young Lions Cup, man. I hope Nightmare Factory takes that home, and y'all just keep doing the thing, man.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
Ishmael, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. We know you're a busy man, and you're prepping for your next match and whatnot. But I just got to say, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And like I said, we hope that you and Kid Bandit and Lola, y'all, take the country by storm. Traveling all over, because it's always great to travel when you have your friends with you, experiencing the same thing that you do. Whether it's going out for New York City, New York pizza in New York, or checking out the beaches of South Beach in Miami, or even just checking out the Silver Bean in Chicago. It's always good to have friends with you that take that journey with you as well. So I definitely hope that not only for yourself but for the whole team, you, Kid Bandit, Lola, the Electric Bunny, the highlights, y'all definitely make a lot of things happen. And hey, let us know when y'all got some merch, man, because we'll definitely promote it. I'm a sucker for rocking independent wrestlers merch, man. I'm that dude that be like, yeah, I'm about to go out to the club in my, Ishmael Vaughn t-shirt or my highlight t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? hit them up, and da-da-da. I'm like that too, but it's not to clout chase or I'm looking for a check or anything. It's just that's how much I, appreciate professional wrestling. So whenever you get that merch, just let us know. We'll definitely let people
We
know
will.
and make it happen. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut it down. But before we go, where can fans find on social media? If they want to, not just talk wrestling, but like just find out, when you're going to be in action next. If they want to purchase merch, and where can bookers and promoters find you? When they want to book you for their matches. I mean, for the shows.
Yeah, of course. So on Instagram, you can find me on at the Independent Variable. D is spelled with THEE, and then Independent Variable. And then on Twitter, you can find me just at Ishmael Vaughn, capital I, capital V, everything else lowercase. And Facebook, the exact same way.
Awesome. So y'all definitely, follow this man. He's doing great things. Just came off of a, great show in the Nightmare Factory student showcase. If you have not seen it, check it out. It's on YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything. All they're asking for is for an hour or two of your time. Trust me when I say this. You will not be disappointed. They have the other showcases too. Showcase 1 is on there. Showcase 2 is on there. Showcase 3 is on there. Check them out. Trust me, you will enjoy it. I can't wait to actually get more people from there on our show because they're doing a tremendous job as well. But with that being said, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the the Riggs to my Murtaugh, the Chameleonaire to my Paul Wall, and the Frank Sinatra to my Sammy Davis Jr. Where can fans find you on social media if they want to talk wrestling? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for your referee services?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Rob_Base82, and then Facebook and YouTube Rob Base.
Awesome. And if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. You can find me on Twitter under @TheRemyBlue, and you can also find me on Facebook under Remy Blue. It's a picture of me at WrestleMania 28. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram under @Ringside Society. We are also on Facebook. Yes, we have a Facebook group. Just type in Ringside Society and you'll find us there. We are also on Twitch under @Ringside Society 2019. And we are also on YouTube. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. Just type in Ringside Society. And once you see that sweet dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it, that's us. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't personalize it. Just subscribe to all the videos. And yeah, you won't be disappointed. We have a lot of cool interviews from the past with Jasmine Allure, Maddie Rankowski, Miles Millennium, several people from the Nightmare Factory. I mean, we've had Logan Taylor, the Renegade Twins, and many more to come. So definitely subscribe to us. And also we have a Teespring store. Yes, Teespring is where we sell our official Ringside Society merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have tank tops if you want to show your muscles. We also have hoodies for hoodie season. Yes, it's hoodie season now. So we got the Ringside Society hoodies waiting for y'all as well. And we also have coffee mugs. Yes, y'all now is the time for the pumpkin spice lattes, the green tea lattes, and the hot chocolate marshmallows, and even the good old fashioned coffee. We have coffee mugs as well too. So definitely check us out. Cop some merch. All proceeds from those sales go back into keeping the show afloat. It doesn't go back into our pockets, and that's no cap. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. To those of y'all that are going to listen to us later on, thank you very much in advance. And to those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, like myself at a Golden Corral and Rob Bass at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we understand that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for Santino Brothers and Nightmare Factory Class 3. Graduate, 1/3 of the highlights and the 11th entrant in the 2021 Young Lions Cup tournament, the Independent Variable Ishmael Vaughn. What's the
Woo!
podcast on?
Thank
For
you
the
guys.
Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. I'm sorry, Ishmael, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, thank you guys. I appreciate your time. I had a fun time on the podcast, and anytime again, I would love to do it.
Thanks, no problem. Yes, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back tomorrow with another great interview. But until then, we're still going through a pandemic. It's not completely gone, so stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.